welcome to episode 1 of Confide in Me. Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have for you a Q&A slash advice column slash just like chit chat. Does that all make sense? I don't know. I'm just putting it like all together and mashing it into one. So a couple days ago, I asked you guys to DM me or answer on the questions on my Instagram, like advice that you guys need or like something that you guys want to talk about. I got a bunch of different questions. Some of you asked me like simple Q&A questions, which I'm just gonna set aside for one day when I do a Q&A. I have a couple saved that I wanted to talk about and read. It just so happens to be that they're all kind of about boys, which my next one I promise won't be too much about boys, but they were detailed about boys. So it's kind of like just the topic we're gonna talk about today. I am gonna call this series Confide in Me. Today we're talking about a bunch of boy stuff. Someone asked me about hookup culture. Someone asked me advice about their boyfriend, their fiance, yada, yada, yada. I will be keeping everyone anonymous. For those of you who did leave like a question or anything advice-wise, I did read it, I promise. They're all in another file. I will get to it, I promise. This is just episode 1. The first long ones that I got is, so I've been with my fiance for about 8 years total. We've been engaged for 5 of those 8 years. So they, whoa, okay, so they were together for 3 years. They got engaged and now they've been engaged for 5 years. When he proposed to me, he just threw the ring at me and said, sorry, whoa, I guess you could have it now. At the moment I was excited because he just gave me a ring, but after everyone started asking how he did it, I ended up making up a story of how he did it so he wouldn't look bad. But the past couple of years, I've been thinking about it. It has always made me sad because I feel it wasn't sincere. I feel like he felt he had to do it. Every time I talk to him about it, he always brushes it off or acts like the story I told everyone was the truth and never really tells me why he did it the way he did. What am I supposed to think of it? Was it real? Was it a real proposal? Should I give the ring back and tell him it bothers me and do it when he's ready? If I give the ring back, I'm worried he will take it wrong and I think I want to break up. Or should I do what I've been doing and forget about it? Okay, so basically, long story short, you guys are engaged and he threw the ring at you as his proposal instead of getting down on one knee. So you've been lying about the way he proposed because you're embarrassed and now he's just going along with it. I guess one question if I could ask would be, do you think that you pushed for it? Sounds like he already had the ring because you're saying that he was like, okay, you can have it now. Like, here you go. I think it's very rare. Actually, no, maybe a lot of people do it. I was gonna say it's pretty rare for a guy to get like, to feel like he has to get engaged and he'll actually go through with getting a ring and actually proposing. The only thing I can think of is if you rushed him to propose, maybe he felt like, oh my gosh, like I have to do it, so just like take it. Like, you just want the ring, so take it, you know? And I've learned throughout stories that I've heard of that you just need to let him feel like he's the man. Like, a man needs to feel like he has his life together and like put in order to feel like he can take the next step on like being in a marriage and having kids and all of that. So maybe he felt rushed and maybe, you know, and I think it should be a serious topic that you talk about with him, especially if you guys have been together for like 8 years. That's a long time. Like, that's a long time. My gosh, that's a long time, sorry. But if you've been together for 8 years, you should be at a point in your relationship where you can be like, hey, like, I know, like, and you obviously can't come with like a hostile tone. Don't like be like, so this is what you did and this is what hurt me. Like, don't come all like that. Just be like, hey, I know, like, we haven't really talked about it, but you know, the way our engagement happened was something that I feel like might have bothered you, or, you know, because I feel like it bothers me now, and I just want to be sure that you're ready to, you know, for this step, and that you wanted it. Because at the end of the day, as much, and obviously because I'm not in your situation, I can't say much, but as an outsider, just hearing the basics of the story, I feel like, you know, you don't want to be stuck in a relationship where he doesn't want to be stuck in a relationship, if you get what I mean. If you guys love each other, are willing to work for it, that's what's important. But if it's like he doesn't want it, you shouldn't want it, because you should want better for each other. Does that make sense? You guys have been together for 8 years, which I believe means that you have some type of communication. And I think that's really important, that, you know, you put out what you expect and what you can't give each other. If you do go to him and have a conversation with him and he's like, no, like, I truly, like, yeah, at the time, like, proposal, because that was also, what, 5 years ago you said? At the time, maybe he wasn't ready, but over the years, he's like, okay, yeah, it happened, whatever. And I think after 5 years, it is quote unquote silly, unless it's very important to you, to have to give him the ring back and be like, hey, can you do it when you're ready? Because then you gotta explain the whole thing over to friends and family, and then that's just awkward for you. On to the next. My boyfriend has a friend in his friend group, but they have talked in that way before we got together and kissed. He told me it didn't go any further than that. But now 5 months later, he still talks to her through their friend group chat, and even directly in there, and it makes me kind of self-conscious. If he still thinks of her and he likes his pics of her, she has a BF, but I still feel weird about it. When I told him I don't like her because we used to be friends, and if he chooses to not want to talk to her, what? When I told him I don't like her because we used to be friends, and if he chooses not to want to talk to her because I'm not comfortable with it, he could do that. But I don't want to be controlling. He just reassures she's just a friend. If I'm getting the story right, I do believe in believing your significant other. I think that's very important in your relationship. Whether I say it or not, I think in any relationship, if you don't have trust, even a little bit of it, it's really hard to be in a friendship or a relationship or any type of ship. Do you get what I mean? It sounds like he previously, before you and I, it sounds like he was previously more than friends with her before you guys had dated. So that means that technically he'd never messed up. It's about your self-consciousness, and, you know, like, really what it comes down to is how much you trust him and how much you trust yourself, really, to trust him. Because technically he has not done anything to make you feel like he has been unfaithful in the relationship, because everything he did was previous to your guys' relationship now. And yeah, I know you feel like rocky about, like, oh yeah, but he's talking to her, he's around her, they talk to each other. But she's obviously moved on and has a boyfriend, and I'd hope that she's in love with her boyfriend and very happy in that sense. But they are from a friend group. So unfortunately, if you're in a grown-up, not unfortunately actually, but if you're in a grown-up relationship, you should be able to be friends with someone and put aside all that feeling. Now, if he has been unfaithful, that's a different story. Then you can be like, you were not truthful and you broke our trust, so now it's over, because that he chose to be unfaithful in that situation. But she's in a relationship, he's in a relationship, he's assured you, and he doesn't do anything. Now, of course, you've mentioned you don't want to be controlling, so you're like, okay, kind of do whatever you want, but I've made my statement clear. If he cares for you and he loves you, then he should be able to be her friend, but at a distance. And there's a difference, and you need to be able to see the difference, I feel like, when he's a friend just with a wall. Like a see-through wall, you know, because people can be friends. It's not like every person your boyfriend doesn't like, you cut them off. I mean, unless you have, then that's a different topic. That's a different story. Like, you need to be like, okay, here's the thing. You said you don't like this person, so I cut him off, so now it's your turn. Cut her off. It's different circumstances. Like, different people have different stories to tell, but I'm taking what I just read, and I feel like you guys seem to be in a good place. As long as they're not, like, hanging out intimately or, like, just one-on-one. Going on to the next question. Advice for trying to get out of the hookup culture that I feel like any guy is only interested in. Now, I know this feeling like the back of my hand. I have been on dating apps since 2015 maybe? Started on Tinder. I've been on Tinder, Clover, OkCupid, Plenty of Fish, Coffee Meets Bagel, Hinge. Hinge was a good one. I've even been on Facebook dating, which is a new recent thing. Not like for me, but like in the app world. What else have I been on? I've been on some interesting things. Did I already say Clover? Trying to think if there's like another one. I haven't been on Match, no. Or Christian Mingle. Maybe I'm in the wrong places, I don't know. But I have been in the hookup culture for quite some time. I wasn't hooking up back in 2015, but that's how long I've been like, that's how long I've known of the hookup culture. Because prior to 2015, I feel like I was kind of like so naive and I was just like, meh. 2015 was when I was 20 or 21. 21, I feel like. No. 20, because I'm 25 now. Sounds about right. Yeah, I was like 20, 21, somewhere around there. And hooking up wasn't in my head. Like, I totally didn't know that Tinder was about hooking up. Now it's like a whole culture, and I totally understand of trying to not be a part of it. And I think part of me feels like we shouldn't get caught up in it, because at the end of the day, a human being, like, strip down everything, a human being just wants to be loved. It's a thing. As much as hookups are nice, sometimes. At the end of the day, you just want to be loved. You just want someone to care for you. You just want someone to want you. That's all it is. You just want to be wanted. And I know that feeling so well. Honestly, I could do a whole other episode about just me being single and how I've had to deal with that. But that's just so long and so much to say. But I feel like when the culture is over and when you outgrow that yourself, and people outgrow, you know, at different phases, you'll find someone, like, you know. And I can't even say that with a promise, because I don't even frickin' know, because I'm still single. And so I don't really know, but I'm trusting that I'm only 25. I know sometimes I'm like, dang, I'm 25. Like, what am I doing with my life? Like, oh my gosh, like, what in the... First of all, I don't even look 25 because I have these stupid pigtails in. I was like, oh, they're so cute, but they're so cute for a picture and so not cute for a video. But now they're here, so they're staying. But I understand the struggle. Like, I truly wish I could tell you guys how much I understand the struggle, but I understand the struggle. Trust me. And it's just like, I feel like when it's time to outgrow, there will be people there. Like, people, there's different people at different stages. And I feel like the 20s right now in this day and age, the 20s is all about hookup era. Like, there's tons of people out there in love too. Like, oh my gosh, my best friends, Carlos and Kim, like, they're so in love. But it's like, they were in the hookup era. Like, it happens, it just happens on different timing. I trust that eventually my timing will come, even though I'm so sick and tired of the hookup culture. It's just all about timing, you know? Maybe the person I'm supposed to end up with is not done with his hookup time. Maybe the person I'm supposed to end up with is totally an F-boy right now. I hope to God I never find out he was, but, you know, like, I'm done with the hookup culture. I think girls end up being done with it sooner. I could be wrong. I've heard that some girls are very you know, very, very forward with what they want and what they only want. So I know girls are the same way, but I also do feel like girls are always the ones that like, we want to be loved, cuddle, like yada yada yada, which I also think is sometimes a stereotype, because sometimes a girl just gotta do what she gotta do. But you know, it's different. People are different. Some guys are also, you know, gotta do what you gotta do, but then some of them are also like, okay, like I want to cuddle, like take you on a date. Some are nice. So it really just depends on the timing and, you know, all of that loveliness that you hate hearing. Trust me, I hate hearing it. Like, I can tell you how much, you know what, I'm not even gonna say it. I'm gonna say it so you know what phrase I'm talking about, but I'm never gonna say it again. And it's the time, like when the time comes. No, like girl, no, trust me, I hate that phrase. I hate it. I hate it, but I understand it. I understand it and I accept it, but I hate it. Does that make any sense? Anyways, all that to say, I think if you're true to yourself and you're truly not in the hookup culture and you just stand for who you are and love yourself and you're like, okay, best guy can have me, put yourself on like a high pedestal, like you deserve it, it'll come to you. That's what I'm gonna say, because that's what I'm gonna do. So that's what's just gonna happen. Okay, you guys, I don't want this to be like a long thing, because that's a lot of me talking. So this is the last one, and it's, what do you do when you're 20 and don't have any guidance in the relationship world? What do you, I don't know specifically what you mean by no guidance, or any guidance. Does that mean like no friends that have been in a relationship or anything like that, or just because you haven't been in a relationship? And trust me, I know. I think there's no sense of real guidance for a relationship when a relationship feels right and you both respect each other and love each other and trust each other. That's a relationship to you. There's no such thing, and nobody's relationship is gonna be the same, because at the end of the day, every relationship you ever have will be different. No one relationship is the same. Your relationship with your mom is different, with your dad, your cousins, your sisters, your brothers, your best friends, your other best friend, your boyfriend, your ex-boyfriend. Your relationship is so different and unique. Like, every single one is made to describe you two together. That's what relationship is. Like, I've had best friends before, but I've never had one the same. So I think whatever it is, whatever age you're at, a relationship, you won't need guidance because it's something you'll build up with that person. And I think that's perfectly fine. Okay, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed episode 1 of Confide in Me. Let me know, you guys, what I could do to better it, or what you guys liked or what you didn't like. I'd really like it if you guys sent me more DMs for more advice, stories. I love it when you guys go into detail, because then I'm like, whoa, like I get the full picture. I feel like when it's so vague, like I kind of start rambling and then I don't end up really getting to the point. I love getting to know you guys. I love hearing your guys' story. I feel like I get closer to you. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.